Good evening. I'm Mary McDermott from St Peterport. This November will see 45 parish elections taking place. Given the change with island-wide voting, what do deputies, potential deputies, see as the future role of the dues aims, and how would you intend to maintain links of each and every one of them?
Thank you very much. The first person to answer this, LeBron.
I think the Duzains do a good job, and to be honest, I don't think this election will be repeated. I thought this was a good idea. I thought island-wide voting. I've only voted A, but so many people have disengaged with this election. I was told by lots of my friends that they would be signing up. A lot haven't. They've asked me when they can sign up after the deadline. I really think that it's probably going to go back to what it was.
Thank you very much. Jennifer Merritt?
Thank you. I think I certainly recognise.
Good evening. Adrian Hayworth, St Saviour's. Now to external affairs. Maintaining a good relationship with the UK is critical to the success of the finance industry and the island's economy. How do we achieve this?
Thank you very much. And the first person to answer?
I'll be honest, it's beyond my realm of experience, but obviously what we would need to do is try and promote how well regulated we are, and we're someone that can be trusted and not to be feared from. But that's all I can add, really.
Thank you. Jennifer Merritt?
Thank you. We need to...
To you, sir.
Hello, Mick O'Connell from the Vale. It's a straight question. In the new state of deliverance, and if elected, and the candidates are within an impasse in education, would you support a referendum with the people of the island if the referendum went against your wishes?
Thank you very much. And the first person to answer that question is Ross LeBrun.
The problem with that is you're asking the public to make a judgment on educational, on how children are going to be educated. It's far more complex, and that's almost like tossing a coin. You saying like if there's two models and it's one or the other, basically. Is that what you're saying?
No, we're not. Sorry, sorry.
We had a referendum for island white voting.
Yeah, but I just think that education is far more complex than that. Children's education is far more complex than how we vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jennifer Merritt?
I took the question to be, would you support a referendum if it goes against their own judgment? I thought that was the key question.
To come to you towards the back. Okay, thank you very much. Sir.
Thank you. My name is Chris Russell from St Peterport. And my question is this. As individuals and independents who seem like-minded on many issues, when elected, how would you plan to translate intention into action?
Thank you. How would I action my values and ideas? I'd try and take the public with me, try and engage with them more, let them know my thinking, why I'm thinking that, and what I'm trying to do. I find a lot of things that have happened in the previous state or this state's, people just don't really understand until it's too late what it is that's being decided on. And by the time that's happened, the proverbial hits the fan and everything goes up in the air. So you need to engage more with people and let them know the mechanics of what it is that you're trying to actually do.
Thank you very much. The next question.
I would like to have a commitment or a suggestion from any of you as to what you would do to encourage and facilitate more active travel. We have an obesity epidemic hanging over us and a lot of mental health problems. And one of the things that is very valuable to help combat both of those things is people getting exercise that is meaningful. Could you please indicate what you think about this?
Thank you very much.
I think we need to be a bit more creative with how our road network works. I used to live in Gwell Lane, and if you go up there to the top to Amos Road, you can't turn left between certain times. You can't go up the hill. I think we could do certain things like that where there's time restrictions on which way traffic can travel, so you're not turning it into a complete one-way, just certain times of the day. The cycle subsidies as well. The electric bikes, they're not cheap to buy, so unless you're relatively wealthy, you couldn't enjoy the subsidy to start with. I have suggested in the past that maybe the states could put a tender out to order a bulk load of a more budget bike, but that's got quality components, and I've actually been shown myself that you can do that for about £400 or £500 per bike. That could be a lot more achievable for lower earners, that would encourage them to use the bike more, and you could even do that on a normal bicycle as well. So that'd be my idea.
Thank you. Jennifer Merritt.
Last on this one, so I've crossed that quite a lot, so I don't want this repetition, but I think I want to reiterate it's the whole community, it's not just children. We haven't got time to wait, just that the children to grow up with this, it's the whole community.
I have a two-part question to ask on consumer rights. Statements were made, I think, before 2016 about enhancing consumer rights in Guernsey. Nothing much has been carried out on that front. My second part is a more catch point. Being in the EU, milk is not allowed to be sold in Guernsey if it comes from abroad. I'd be very interested to know how far panelists would support expenditure on the dairy if there is a no-deal Brexit. If there is a no-deal Brexit, UK farms will be trying to dispose of thousands of gallons of milk. The price will decline enormously. To find a market in the Channel Islands or the Isle of Man would be something of a boost to the British farmer, but it would also assist the consumer if they were allowed to buy British milk. Secondly,
that's the end of your question, I'm afraid. Thank you.
Consumer rights, it'd be good, I'd support it, but is it realistically going to be on the agenda over the next few years with what's going on at the moment? Is it a priority over other things? Regarding milk or the dairy, I think that we should be promoting it a lot more. Yes, we should keep it, but not just put effort into building a new dairy, but we need to be promoting it around the world. It's a world-class product. We shouldn't be having instances where the dairy's having to pour 6,000 litres of milk down the drain. They should be running dry. We should be exporting it everywhere.
Jennifer Merritt.
Thank you. The consumer rights, I actually...
Marion Morgan from Vale. What are your thoughts on the decriminalisation of the use of cannabis?
What Peter said is pretty much what I think. We've got lots of people in prison that we're paying for, and it's costing us probably hundreds of thousands every year to put people in prison for small personal amounts that they've had. There might even be people in here that actually attended the Rolling Stones and the Beatles when they came over here, and they're very well-known users, and no one had a problem with them. A lot of people that use it are actually good contributors to society. You've got people that have got personality problems, and they're the same kind of people that would have problems with alcohol. There was a time when alcohol was illegal to take in, well, I don't know about here, but at least in America. But could you imagine getting arrested for having a glass of wine at home? It's just people can use responsibly. The people that we worry about are the people that are going to have an issue with any kind of drug.
Thank you. Jennifer Merritt.
Thank you. I think there's been a distinction between medicinal and recreational. Medicinal, if it's part of a care
Peter Court. I'd like to ask the candidates about engagement levels. When you get into the next assembly, what specific action or actions will you take to encourage and improve the current level of engagement? Don't get me wrong, I love the fact I'm feeling the youngest in the room tonight, but that can't continue. So your engagement levels with your electorate, young, old, of all areas. So what are you going to do, guys and girls?
John, please.
With I answered this before slightly, but we need, or the states need to get out into the community more, into more informal areas that just don't, like the surgeries for instance, hardly anyone went to them. But you need to do it. For instance, I'm doing Sommeray Park every day at 10. People are coming down and chatting to me because they feel it's somewhere informal. They're enjoying it. We need to do more things like that so people can feel that they can actually chat on a more basic level, and then they'll understand more. But that's what's missing, is getting out into the communities. Even the election, I've said this so many times, a Portuguese lady, a local Portuguese lady, had come down to talk to me, and she said that that she didn't even understand whether she could vote or she was allowed to vote. The information hadn't been put out to the different communities, and it's the same with everything. It's not just language barriers, it's just understanding the mechanics of things.
Thank you. Jennifer Merritt.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brian Gabriel from the Vale. Adrian doesn't know what's coming. My concern is by-elections. Should 38 of you get elected, one or two of you might not enjoy it and resign, and then that would lead to a by-election bit. Would you agree with the idea of having reserves for positions, say 39 and 40, and then that would save a by-election?
Thank you very much. Ross the Brun.
Yes, Brian, that's a good idea. I'm surprised that the Vale didn't do what you suggested in 2016 when Neil Linda got in, because they spent all that money when the voters had literally just voted on who they wanted. I mean, it just seems common sense, really. Go and spend all that extra money and all that extra effort when there's already been people voted on.
Jennifer Merritt, please.
Thank you for your question.
Answers, please. So, name and parish, please, sir.
Nick Smith and St Sampson's. Many of you said that you support diversifying the industry over here. There are already other industries here and not engaged with by the states. CGI doesn't even have a category for manufacturing, despite the likes of Intersurgical and offshore electronics on the island. So how are you specifically going to support diversification on the island?
Thank you. Ross the Brun.
I think we need to listen more to this. Is that even on? I think we need to listen more to the smaller industries and help them, because as I say, from little acorns, oak trees grow. So I was looking for space for my small business. The states didn't understand my requirements. I campaigned for it. I got from the Fontaine Vinery Light Industrial Yards through my efforts. We've now got yards at Griffiths, and that's helped. That's made a big impact for 11 small businesses there. But that's what we need is we need more attention to the smaller industries that we've lacked in the past, and that's one of the reasons I'm standing, because I own a small business and I sort of understand these problems where we don't get listened to a lot.
Thank you. Jennifer Merritt.
Thank you.